You know that feeling when your brain won't shut up? When you're sitting in traffic replaying yesterday's argument or stressing about next week's deadline? That's cortisol, your body's stress hormone, and it's not just exhausting you, it's making you a worse rider. Studies show daily stress spikes your cortisol levels high enough to slow your reaction times and cloud your judgment on the road. The problem is you don't feel it happening until you miss that car merging into your lane or brake too late into a turn. But here's what changes everything. 20 minutes on a motorcycle drops cortisol by 30%. The same reduction you get from hitting the gym, except you are not on a treadmill staring at a wall. This is not therapy talk or feel-good nonsense. This is measurable physical stress relief that makes you safer every time you ride. Let me reframe something for you. When people talk about flow state on a motorcycle, they make it sound like some Zen meditation thing. That is not what it is. Flow state is a survival mechanism, and your brain enters it because riding demands it. The second you twist that throttle, your world narrows. No screens, no distractions, no room for anything except you and the road ahead. Your brain starts calculating speed, balance, traction, stopping distance, all in fractions of a second. It feels natural when you are doing it, but it is incredibly intense cognitive work. Every curve becomes a conversation between trust and instinct. There is no mental space left for yesterday's argument with your boss or tomorrow's mortgage payment. The road will not let you think about anything else. That is not relaxation. That is forced presence, and it is exactly what quiets the mental noise that makes riders dangerous. When you are in flow, the world narrows to what actually matters. You see the gravel patch before you hit it. You feel the bike shift weight mid-corner. You notice the car 3 lanes over starting to drift before they have even touched their turn signal. That clarity keeps you alive. But here's the real benefit most people miss. You are not just experiencing focus in that moment. You are training your brain to stay calm and locked in when conditions change fast. When a car cuts you off or rain starts falling mid-ride, your body already knows how to handle it. You have practiced staying present under pressure thousands of times. I watched a guy at a track day completely miss his braking point because he was thinking about his phone buzzing in his jacket. He ran wide, nearly hit the wall, and spent the rest of the session rattled. That is what happens when you break flow state. Your brain tries to split attention, and suddenly you are reacting a half second too slow. The difference between a rider who stays calm in traffic and one who panics when things go wrong is this. The calm rider has spent hours in flow state. Their brain has learned to filter out everything except what matters right now. Throttle position, road surface, traffic patterns, escape routes. That is why experienced riders look so smooth. They are not trying to be cool. They are just deeply focused on the only thing that matters, the next 5 seconds of the road. Everything else fades into background noise. Flow state is not about feeling good. It is about staying alive by forcing your brain to do what it is supposed to do. Pay attention to the thing that can kill you if you get it wrong. And the gift you get from that forced focus is this. Your mind finally shuts up and lets you think clearly. Now let's talk about the part everyone gets wrong, the thrill. People hear adrenaline and think it means recklessness, that you are out there chasing danger for the rush. That is not what adrenaline does on a motorcycle. It is your body's response to controlled challenge, and there is a massive difference. When adrenaline kicks in during a ride, something specific happens. Your senses sharpen, your peripheral vision widens, your reaction times speed up, your awareness expands to take in more information than you could process sitting on your couch. You feel everything more intensely, the temperature of the air against your jacket, the sound of your engine note changing through the rev range, the smallest shift in weight as the bike leans into a corner. This is not chaos. This is controlled energy, where focus meets excitement and clarity meets passion. Your body is alert without being panicked. Your mind is sharp without being scattered. You are riding the edge between calm and intensity, and that is where the magic happens. The blend of calm flow state and sharp adrenaline response is what separates great riders from dangerous ones. Dangerous riders get the adrenaline without the focus. They are amped up and making stupid decisions. Great riders get both at once. They are calm enough to think clearly and alert enough to react instantly. You are training your body to be calm under pressure by practicing controlled bursts of intensity. Every time you accelerate onto a highway, navigate through traffic, or lean into a tight corner, you are teaching your nervous system how to handle elevated stress without losing control. Here is why that matters off the bike. When something goes wrong in your life, a work crisis, a family emergency, a financial problem, your body already knows how to handle the spike. You have felt your heart rate jump before. You have experienced that moment of sharp focus when everything slows down. You have practiced staying clear-headed when your body is screaming at you to panic. I have seen this play out in real situations. A rider I know got cut off by a truck merging without looking. No time to brake, no room to swerve right. Most people would freeze or overcorrect and go down. He leaned left, threaded between the truck and the median, and cleared it with inches to spare. Afterward, he said his mind went completely quiet and his body just moved. That is the adrenaline paradox. The rush is not the point. The control is. You are not chasing danger. You are learning to stay calm when danger finds you. And every ride is practice for the moment when you need that skill to save your life. The more you ride, the better you get at managing that energy. You learn to recognize the difference between good adrenaline that sharpens you and bad panic that clouds your judgment. You start to feel when your body is giving you an edge versus when it is pushing you toward a mistake. That awareness becomes instinct, and instinct becomes survival. But here is where it gets better. This is not just about the moment. This stuff compounds over time in ways most riders never realize. Tokyo University ran a study on motorcyclists that should make every rider pay attention. They tested riders against non-riders on memory tasks, spatial awareness challenges, and reaction time exercises. The riders did not just perform better, they performed significantly better. And here is the kicker. Their brains stayed more active and more flexible even as they aged. The reason is not complicated. Riding activates almost all your senses at once. You are reading the road surface for traction changes. You are listening to your engine note for shift points. You are feeling vibration through the bars and pegs for feedback on grip. You are adjusting balance through body position. You are tracking multiple vehicles in your mirrors while planning your next 3 moves. This constant exchange between mind and motion builds stronger neural connections. Your brain is forming new pathways and reinforcing existing ones every single time you ride. Scientists call it cognitive reserve, basically protection against mental decline as you age. Every ride is a full workout for your brain. You are training memory by recalling road layouts and traffic patterns. You are sharpening focus by filtering relevant information from noise. You are improving decision-making by weighing risk versus reward hundreds of times per ride. And you are not sitting in a classroom or staring at a computer screen doing it. Think about what your brain does on a single commute. You remember which lane has the worst potholes. You recognize the intersection where drivers always run the red. You calculate whether you have time to pass that semi before the exit. You adjust your speed based on how the pavement looks after last night's rain. You read body language from drivers 3 cars ahead to predict lane changes before they happen. That is not autopilot. That is active learning happening in real time. Your brain is constantly building maps, recognizing patterns, making predictions, and updating its understanding based on new information. The more complex the environment, the harder your brain works, and the stronger those neural pathways become. The more you ride, the more your mind adapts and learns. Your brain becomes more resilient. You process information faster, you make connections quicker, and you stay sharper longer than people who spend their lives in cars, where the most complex decision is which podcast to play. I know riders in their 60s and 70s who are still sharp as hell. They remember routes from decades ago. They adapt to new traffic patterns faster than kids half their age. They make split-second decisions that keep them safe when younger riders would panic. That is not luck. That is cognitive reserve built up over thousands of miles. Here's what that means practically. When you are 70 and your friends are forgetting where they parked, you are still threading through traffic with perfect awareness. When they are slowing down mentally, you are still reading road conditions 3 moves ahead. When they need help with basic tasks, you are still riding because your brain stayed flexible enough to handle the complexity. This is the ultimate safety gear nobody talks about. A faster, more flexible brain that stays sharp as you age. You can buy the best helmet money can buy, but you cannot buy cognitive reserve. You have to earn it mile by mile, ride by ride, year by year. Now here's the part most people miss. Riding doesn't just sharpen your mind. It changes how you see yourself. Riding alone builds independence in a way nothing else does. You can't delegate the decisions. You can't ask someone else to handle the hard parts. When you're out there on 2 wheels, every choice is yours. When to accelerate, when to brake, which line to take, whether to push through or turn back. You learn to trust yourself when things get uncertain. Every time you face the road, you're proving to yourself that you can handle it. Not in some motivational poster way, in a real, physical, undeniable way. You managed that sketchy intersection. You read that weather change correctly. You made it home safe through conditions that would have scared you 6 months ago. That's not confidence built on affirmations. That's confidence earned through competence. You learn to manage risk instead of avoiding it completely. You stay calm under pressure because you've practiced it. You find control in situations where most people would freeze. And that mental shift transfers to everything else in your life. The rider who can navigate rush hour traffic without panicking doesn't fall apart when a work deadline moves up or a relationship gets complicated. I've watched this transformation happen. New riders start out nervous about everything: highway speeds, lane changes, riding in rain. 6 months later, they're different people. Not reckless, not overconfident, just capable. They've learned to assess situations, make decisions, and live with the outcomes. That's real-world confidence that changes how you move through life. The bike becomes a testing ground for self-reliance. You plan your own routes. You handle your own maintenance problems. You make judgment calls about weather, traffic, and road conditions without a committee vote. Every successful ride reinforces that you can trust your own assessment of risk and reward. But here's the beauty of it. Motorcycles also connect people who understand the same pull, the same balance of fear and excitement. Social scientists say belonging to a group guards against depression and improves overall happiness. The data backs it up. People with strong social connections live longer and handle stress better than isolated individuals. On 2 wheels, you get both. Independence. When you ride solo, and connection when you meet another rider. You don't need to explain why you ride. They already know. You don't need to justify the risk. They have made the same calculation. There is an instant connection based on shared experience that car drivers just do not have. You stop waiting for permission or validation. You do not need someone to tell you it is okay to take that weekend ride or to buy that bike you have been eyeing. You just do it. And that shift from seeking approval to trusting your own judgment, that's freedom most people never find. The road teaches you self-reliance without becoming isolated, independent without being alone, confident without being arrogant. And every mile you put down reinforces that lesson until it becomes part of who you are. So what does all this actually mean when you're out there on the road? Inside a car, the world passes like a movie behind glass. You're watching it happen through a windshield, with climate control and speakers and a million distractions between you and reality. On a bike, you're part of the scene. You feel the sting of wind cutting through your jacket. You feel the warmth of sunlight on your arms. You smell the earth after rain, the cut grass from fields, the exhaust from the semi you just passed. You're not watching life, you're touching it, breathing it, living inside it. The road does not guarantee comfort, but it gives you honesty. Every turn demands your attention. Every mistake leaves a lesson you won't forget. There is no airbag between you and consequence, no crumple zone to absorb your bad decisions. That brutal honesty forces you to show up completely or pay the price. Riding strips life down to essentials. For a few rare moments, you stop thinking and start being. Your mind is not racing through tomorrow's problems or replaying yesterday's failures. You're just here, right now, managing this corner, reading this traffic, feeling this machine respond to your input. That presence is what most people spend thousands on therapy trying to find. The sound of the engine becomes a rhythm that steadies your heartbeat. The wind carries your worries away because there is no room for them when you're managing speed and balance and traction. Your breathing deepens, your shoulders relax. The tension you've been carrying for weeks melts into the road behind you. You remember what peace feels like, not the fake peace of numbing out with screens or substances. Real peace, the kind that comes from being fully alive and completely present. And you realize the world is still beautiful, still worth experiencing, still full of moments that make you grateful you are here to feel them. When you bring it all together, the cortisol drop, the flow state focus, the adrenaline control, the cognitive reserve, the independence, riding becomes one of the few experiences that balances strength with stillness. It calms your body while sharpening your mind. It connects you to others while teaching you to stand alone. It demands everything from you and gives back something most people never find. The bike does not lie to you. It will not pretend you are skilled when you are sloppy. It will not hide your mistakes behind safety systems and electronic nannies. When you nail a perfect shift or carry the right speed through a decreasing radius turn, you know you earned it. When you mess up, you feel it immediately. That feedback loop keeps you honest about your abilities and hungry to improve. Most stress relief is passive. You sit on a couch, you take a pill, you zone out in front of a screen. Riding is active. You are engaged, alert, present, alive. You are not escaping your problems. You are building the mental tools to handle them better. The focus you practice on the road transfers to everything else. The calm you find at speed becomes the calm you carry into difficult conversations and tough decisions. That is what riding actually gives you. Not an escape from life, a return to it. Not a break from reality, a deeper connection to what is real. Not relief from stress through avoidance. Relief through presence, through competence, through the simple act of doing something difficult and doing it well. Freedom is not found at the end of a long road. It is chosen each time you start the journey. Every twist of the throttle is a choice to be present instead of numb, to feel instead of hide, to live instead of just exist. Drop a comment and tell me which of these benefits you have felt on the road. Hit subscribe so we can keep building a community of riders who actually understand what two wheels give us.